What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Chuds BBQ. My name is Bradley Robinson, and today I'm going to show you how I made these. Beautiful, delicious, smoky, barky, juicy, tender, amazing smoked beef short ribs on the pellet grill. Coming up. These are some beef ribs. Pat them dry. And what I got here is some beef short ribs. These are USDA prime and looking very nice and fatty. And these are the rib of choice for Texas style barbecue. And there are three main types of beef ribs that you're gonna run into at the grocery store. There's your beef back ribs, which is the rib from like a bone-in ribeye or the backside of a prime rib. Then you've got your beef chuck ribs, which is a 4-bone rack. They're a little bit smaller, a little bit leaner, a little bit tougher. And then there's your plate short ribs, which is what these bad boys are, which is a 3-bone rack and the brisket on a stick, Texas style barbecue rib, the dino rib that we all know and love. And short ribs like this or chuck ribs is really what you're after for the barbecue pit, although back ribs are great. They're just not very meaty, but good for the grill. And when it comes to getting this thing ready for the smoker, we don't really need to do much. We could take down this fat cap because clearly we don't really need it with all the intramuscular fat. There's also some silver skin here that we could remove. And then there's this membrane on the back, which you could remove, but then your meat is gonna fall off the bone. And typically when it comes to beef ribs around these parts, you just season them up and throw them on, which is why I love cooking them so much. So if you wanna remove this fat cap and the silver skin, feel free. I do it from time to time, but today I think we're gonna keep it pretty simple and just end up with some nice big tender ribs. So now all we need to do is get this thing seasoned up. And my rub of choice when it comes to barbecue beef, whether that's brisket or beef ribs, is some good old-fashioned SPG. Really can't go wrong with that. This is 16 mesh black pepper with diamond crystal kosher salt and some granulated garlic, and it works out very well. 2-to-1 pepper to salt ratio, so you can go on pretty heavy with it and get that really nice bark. Come to think of it, I'm gonna take this fat cap down just a little bit on this side because that's looking pretty tall, because these are pretty rich to begin with. Don't need all of that. And for some reason, when it comes to beef ribs, I still like to use a slather, which I don't really do on many other cuts. It's beef ribs and pork belly, and I don't really know why, but especially on beef ribs, this back membrane can be a little bit dry, and rub doesn't really want to stick to it, and I think it also just kind of differentiates this from brisket a little bit. And when it comes to a slather, I usually just grab whatever's nearby, whether that's mustard or Worcestershire sauce or anything you got, but today we're going on with some Taco Bell fire sauce because it was in the fridge, and it's got that nice kind of tacky consistency that I like. Not too thick, not too thin, just a little bit. Ooh, that smells good. Nice even coating. Get the sides too while we're here. And then a nice healthy coating of our SPG. Really not all that important to season the backside. I think it helps with presentation, and you might as well season all sides of your meat, folks. Looking pretty good. Flipping it over, slather the top side. And then on we go with a nice healthy coating. Top and bottom, folks, and please don't forget the sides. Especially because we can't really get much seasoning through the bottom because of the bones. Making sure we get enough seasoning on the top and the sides is especially important. And that is looking pretty much perfect to me, but if you want to go on with a little something extra, you can bust out some seasoned salt. Add a little extra salty pop because it tastes good, but don't tell anyone because it's a secret. But that is looking pretty much perfect to me, so let's go ahead and fire up the pit. Yoder! And as we learned last week, we got to clean this thing out a little bit because we don't want to have another startup fail. Get all that out of there. And initially I found this very annoying, but then you got to think about it, like every pit, whether that's an offset or a grill, you got to remove the ash pretty much every time too. So not a big deal. So on we go. Boop. And on the pit we go. Gonna aim the big side toward the smokestack, but kind of park them just right about there. Dead center, should work out just fine. We may have to adjust this and move this around, but we shall see. And one other thing I'm gonna do is pop in a smoke tube full of pellets to really try and amp up this smoke flavor. Because the ribs last week could have used a little bit more, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be too much. So we will find out, but this lights up on one end, and we'll smoke away, giving us extra smoky flavor. And as we learned last week, this pit seems to cook a little bit hotter and faster than an offset running at the same temp. So I have lowered the temps for this cook down to 180 degrees, which is where it's holding right now. But I am a little concerned that these might be a little too smoky because burning at a lower temp will create more smoke. Plus we have the smoke tube going, but you know, that's what this series is all about, trying new things and trying to dial in the perfect smoke flavor. But that smoke tube should only burn for probably 4 or 5 hours anyway, and I have no idea how long this rack of beef ribs is gonna take to cook. wok. I'm probably gonna stick the old RFX in there to monitor temps because, again, it's 27 degrees outside today and I'd rather be inside. But I really did choose the perfect time of year to start the pellet grill series because it's really nice not being out here in the elements all day long. But 180 degrees, we're gonna go for at least the first few hours. Keep an eye on it. If it's really dragging along, then we may bump the temps halfway through, but I will keep you posted on that. This video is brought to you by me. Daylight savings this weekend, folks, which means the days are getting longer, and with grilling season right around the corner, over at chudsbbq.com, we are doing a spring cleaning sale to make sure you're stocked up with all your grilling essentials, including our line of grill rubs, like our steak rub, love this stuff, poultry rub, and pork rub, secret salt as well. I've been putting this stuff on absolutely everything. And you can't be a backyard pit master without some Diamond Crystal kosher salt, some 16 mesh black pepper, and of course some granulated garlic. Also a great time to pick up the stainless steel Chud grill. That thing's been getting a lot of use. And if you haven't tried my favorite burger trick, which is the dehydrated onions, these things are absolutely perfect on burgers. Just soak these in water for a few minutes, they come back to life, and you got perfect little fast food style onions for your burgers. Because I don't know about you, but whenever I want a burger, I don't feel like dicing up an entire onion just for a small amount, where these are shelf stable, and you could probably make like 1,000 burgers out of this bag alone. Highly recommend it. So if you're in the market to stock up on some of my favorite grilling essentials, now's a great time to do it during our spring cleaning sale, now through Sunday. You'll be supporting this channel and our small business, and I do appreciate it. We are right around the 5.5-hour mark on this cook, and per usual, it's been a very easy, pleasant day. I've gotten a lot done. I shot most of an entire video since I put that thing on, which is great. And from a this is my job perspective, I'm really liking the pellet grill series. Very low stress, very low maintenance. But if we take a look at our apps here, this is what the cook has been looking like. Pretty steady up and down the whole way, except for a couple of really big spikes. I think the first one right there is where I opened a door. The second one, it went down really low and slow for a while. Not sure what that's about, but it is 30 degrees out here and getting colder, so that might have something to do with it. But also, I'm just not used to staring at numbers when I'm cooking something, so I think I'm just thinking about it too much. I also have the RFX plugged in, and I've been watching that thing cook and climb digit by digit all day, and it really just makes the whole process seem like it's taking a lot longer. Because I'm used to just kind of glancing at a thermometer, and if it's in the general vicinity, I'm like, cool. But here's the graph of the meat itself. Again, you can see a pretty defined stall, which was very noticeable right around the 160s. But it's going up now, and currently reading at 184 degrees, which is pretty quick for a rack of beef ribs. And part of me wants to just keep it at the same temperature the whole way through, but another part of me wants to crank it up a little bit just to help render that top fat and that intramuscular fat. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. So let's go take a look at it and see what it's looking like. Ow. Coming in here, we've definitely got a lot of good bark going on. Pellet tube went out about an hour ago, and we definitely got a lot of smoke out of it. Pretty good looking bark. Not the darkest bark I've ever seen, but definitely passable. Looking nice and plump, good bone pullback. Pretty happy with it. Still feels pretty tight though. So yeah, I think I'm gonna bump the temps on this. Not by much. We're just gonna go up to 225, just to finish this cook out strong. Again, the hope is to render that fat down and get these nice and tender, and if it's anything like the pork ribs, we're probably gonna be pulling these off at like 212 degrees or something like that, because, I don't know, it gets hot quicker. And I don't really ever wanna cook much lower than 180, but I think 5 hours to get up to 180 is pretty typical for beef ribs. On the offset, I usually bank around 7-8 hours, so still cooking quicker. Interesting. But cranked it up to 225, should get there shortly, and then we're gonna keep on rocking, and if anything happens, I'll let you know, but if not, we'll check back in a little bit. We are at hour 9 on the dot, and it is finally time to pull these beef ribs off the pit. They got up to the 200s pretty quick, and they've been in the 200s for the last like 2-3 hours. Hasn't really gone above 206, 207 though, and they finally are feeling nice and tender. I did flip these around about an hour ago just to put the other side on the hot side over here, but they are looking very good, feeling nice and squishy. I accidentally poked through right there, but feeling nice and crusty. Bark looks great, and it was an interesting cook because they got up to 200 pretty quickly, but they were feeling really tight, so it took a minute to really tenderize those, and they're still feeling a little bit tight, a little less pillowy than my offset ribs, but they are looking good. A little bit of friction there still, but 203, 205. Feeling nice and squishy. Still a little resistance on this side towards the bone. Maybe I should have rotated these a little bit more, but either way, off they come. So now I'm gonna take these inside, probably gonna wrap them up just to soften that bark a little bit and rest them in there because it is far too cold to rest these out here, and that might take a little bit. So we'll check back in a little bit when these have come down to probably about 160 or so internal temp. And after carrying over and resting down, these are looking absolutely beautiful. I gotta say, that bark is looking a lot better. I think it's time to slice on in and see how these things came out. And there it is, big reveal. Some beefy, smoky, fatty, tender looking, barky. Pretty good looking beef ribs if I do say so myself. All right, here we are upon final inspection. Honestly, I thought we'd get a bigger smoke ring on there with all the smoke we pumped through that thing, but they're looking fatty, they're looking juicy, looking barky, good bone pullback, but really, it's all about how they taste and how tender they are. Alrighty folks, we're gonna go for a nice big bite of this center cut dino rib. Yep. That's nice and tender. Okay. Honestly, that is the closest I think I've ever come to making some proper Texas barbecue on a pellet grill. That is fantastic. The tenderness is there. The saltiness and seasoning is perfect, obviously. And the smoke flavor is there, you know? It's definitely got that smoky hit that you're after. The bark is there. It's got a crispiness to the outside. It's tender. It's rendered. Not much to complain about there, folks. Probably should take another bite just to make sure. That was a good bite right there. They're so tender. Whew. Cold out here. That is just an enjoyable bite of barbecue right there. You know, it's everything you're looking for in a beef rib. The seasoning really is great on that. And the smoke flavor is still a little bit different than something you get off of one of these, but it's better than like the wood chip smoldering or the wood chunk smoldering flavor you get, which is something I've never experienced before. Usually when I do a rack of ribs like this on a Weber kettle or the Chud grill or something where you're doing the charcoal wood chip method, it's got that smoldering flavor to it, where this is a much better smoke flavor, not nearly as acrid, still not quite the live fire aspect you're going to talk about, but I gotta stop comparing this thing to that thing because they're different cookers for different people. But I am making Texas style barbecue here, so it's only fair to compare it to, you know, proper Texas style equipment over here. But honestly, that smoke tube really does the trick. You know, the extra smokiness is there. I guess you can't see the smoke ring now that I'm looking at it on the camera here, but it's not overpowering, and that's kind of the way I like my barbecue. You know, I don't really want too much smoke, but it is a major flavor profile of Texas barbecue, so I need it to be there, and that's pretty dang tasty. You know, I've made beef ribs on the pellet grill several times over the years, but never on camera, pretty sure. We have to check on that one. Whoops, lost that piece. But they've never come out like this, you know? I think the low and slow 180 for most of it with the smoke tube is the way to go for barbecue cuts like a brisket or a beef rib. And it was an interesting cook, you know? They got really tight really quick, which is something I'm not used to seeing with beef ribs. On the offset, it's kind of more of a gradual melt, and they get really pillowy and soft earlier in the cook. So it's pretty weird to see it stay at that 200 plus temp for as long as it was, but you know, you can't really argue with the results. That is a pretty good bite of barbecue right there, if I do say so myself. I mean, come on, you can't tell me that's not barbecue, right? And I don't know if it's just because I haven't had a beef rib in a while or what, but these are really not eating nearly as rich as I remember them. You know, every time I make a beef rib, I talk about how rich they are, but this is eating very well. I feel like I could eat a lot more of this than a typical beef rib, which is interesting. Maybe it's because it did get so tight so quick that it squeezed out a lot of extra fat. I don't know. Pretty tasty. Or maybe I just didn't cook it as far, because we can get a good slice out of that, but it's still very tender. So final thoughts on these beef ribs is probably the same thing I'm going to say about all of these videos, is we are very close, and I think probably about as close as you can get on a pellet grill to making proper Texas style barbecue, because the texture is there, the rub, the seasoning, the bark is there, smokiness is definitely there, the tenderness is there, it's rich, it's fatty, it's smoky, it's barbecue. But I think the only differing factor is just the flavor of the smoke, which I don't think you really can replicate unless you're burning an open fire, and I really don't expect that or a kettle or any other cooker to be able to do that. That's why these things exist. But all in all, I would call that a success, because that is very good. I think if I ate that blindfolded, I wouldn't know that it came off of a pellet grill. Would I make these again, knowing I have an offset behind me? Maybe, yes and no. It took the exact same amount of time, but it was a whole lot less work, so probably. Although to be honest, I'm not usually making beef ribs just for snacking on these days, because they're still pretty rich. But all that being said, I think it's time for the official taste test. Ooh. All right, y'all, and that is it. That is how to make some Texas-style barbecue beef ribs on the pellet grill. And I gotta tell you, I am super surprised and very happy with how these came out, because all day they were looking kind of weird. They were probing weird. They got up to temp really quick. They stayed at that high temp for a long time. The bark wasn't looking quite right, but then we slice into them and we take a bite, and everything was there. They were tender. They were juicy. They were smoky. They were perfectly seasoned. The bark was there, and that was just a good bite of barbecue. And it really does give me a lot of hope for these pellet grills. grills. Not to mention it was a lot less work than my typical beef rib cook, and it's definitely the best bite of barbecue I have pulled off of a pellet grill so far, but there's more to come. But all that being said, if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that subscribe button. Let YouTube know by dropping a like on this video. If you give this recipe a try for yourself, be sure to tag me on Instagram at Chuds BBQ. I'd love to see what y'all are cooking. Big shout out to all the Patreon members. Thank you for supporting Team Chud and allowing me to keep making all these videos. And until the next time I see you, please go cook something outside. Peace.